Again, thank you for taking your time this morning. I'm really happy to bring this portion of what we do for restaurants to you. You know, it was almost 75 years ago that a group of restaurateurs got together. There was 7 of them. They got together and said, we need an association that works for us. We've obviously grown the association from that volunteer group of 7 people, but I wanted to read to you the articles of incorporation because I think it's really important that everybody understands the mission of this organization is to be that place where restaurateurs can go. So it starts out, the first article is the name of the corporation shall be the New Mexico Restaurant Association, the purpose for which it is formed to maintain a board of trade of high standard of integrity in the conduct of the restaurant business, to promote a feeling of goodwill among its members and advance on broad equitable lines the welfare of the restaurant industry, to maintain its chosen vocation among respected industries, to oppose methods of practices inimical to the right conduct of the restaurant business, to further promote the harmonious relationships with allied industries, to assist in the enactment and enforcement of local, state, and federal pure food and sanitation laws. Lost my breath. And then to disseminate useful information and inspire members to further educate themselves on the practical features of their business. You know, and right now, our mission has not strayed from that at all. And I'm just really proud to say that we do serve our members. We have over 1,500 members in New Mexico, and we are here to promote your restaurant on the broadest sense, and we are here to protect your restaurant really on those broad areas as well. And of course, I think you all have seen this over the pandemic, how much we have done for you, but we're always doing that same thing for you, just not quite not quite like we had to during the pandemic. Thank God, right? And thank God we're through that. And unfortunately, there's some other things that are in front of you, but because we have 1,500 members, we're able to negotiate prices for you. We're able to negotiate discounts for you. And that's really what Dion is here to talk to you about. Dion is our director of membership, and she is absolutely wonderful at her job. She is great at bringing these discounts to you and for you. And I just want to make sure that you see all of what we have to offer you. If you're a member, that's fabulous. Really, you're going to learn a lot of things here. If you're not a member, we really would like you to consider being a member. And remember, our mission is to protect and promote restaurants across the state. And now with that, Dion.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk to you a little bit about how our dues are structured, so we kind of have a baseline of what we're doing here. Now, as Carol said, we do have 1,500 members. About 100 of those are associate members, or those are vendors that are supplying goods and services to restaurants. So for the math that we're doing today, we're concentrating mostly on our restaurant members because they're the majority, but there are a lot of good ways for our associates to save money. So I want you to kind of keep that in mind as we're going through this, because you can also provide discounts to our members. That's a way for your membership to pay for itself. Now, our restaurant dues are based on a fair share model. So it's a sliding scale based on your food and beverage revenue. This allows us to provide a different tier of membership to a small mom and pop than we would to a larger family chain of restaurants that might have 2 or 3, or to say even a larger franchise that might have several locations. So we haven't increased these dues despite things like inflation and cost of living increases. At least in the 8 or 9 years that I've been here, we have not increased the dues. And I know that at some point we did reorganize our dues tiers, but all of my cohorts at other states can tell you that they usually increase the dues on an annual basis. And we're really proud that we have kind of kept those in a low-key place. So our Vendor dues are $450 flat every year. There's other opportunities for our vendors and associate members to increase their revenue with things like sponsorships and advertising. But if we focus on the restaurants themselves, we've got several tiers here. So if you're earning up to $500,000 annually in your food and beverage revenue, you're at our minimum tier of $300. 500 to $1 million is $600. 1 million to 2 million, $900. 2 million to 5 million in food and beverage revenue is $1,200, and 5 million plus is going to be $1,500. Now that's up to 11 locations. We do have a few members that have over 11 locations, and so we take those into account as well. That's going to help us understand how much each tier is saving, because we want to make sure that while you're paying your fair share, you're also getting a really good share of discounts. So you didn't think I was going to let you get away with doing nothing. So we're going to do a quick pop quiz. I want some responses in chat, or I'm going to actually have to call you guys out. You know you don't want that. So what is on your menu? Let's get a little bit of perspective. If you have multiple locations, double or triple your answers. But I want to know what your average table check is. And if you're one of our vendor members, or if you're not a restaurant owner, give me the table check of your favorite restaurant that you go to in New Mexico. Okay, Tom's got $10. Say a family of 4, what are they spending? Oh, Alyssa's fancy, $100 table check, 45, 75 for 2 people. Now we're getting somewhere. So we're getting a good idea of what your customers are spending. And we obviously know that there's a lot of expenses that go with that. My second question for the quiz is, what would you charge me for a large Diet Coke? Now, it could be an iced tea, or it could be an orange soda, but we're in New Mexico, so it's always Coke. Okay, $2.50, $3. What are we paying? Oh, what are we paying for our sodas here? $2.50. Great, thank you so much for the participation. This does give us kind of a jumping off spot. Now let's get some perspective on these numbers. Remember our table checks. Oh, Tom only wants Dr. Pepper. We'll give him that for $2.50. So let's go and take a look at how this affects our dues. When we look at a dues calendar, we've got our separate tiers here, 300, 600, 900, 1200. When we look at that per month, these remind me a little bit of our table check costs. And I do hear some members and some potential members who tell us that, oh, I can't possibly join the dues, they're just too expensive. When you reframe it from $300 a year to an average table cost per month, one table in one shift per month is what we're asking for about. Now, your per day, that kind of goes back to your Diet Cokes, doesn't it? First tier membership with our lowest kind of mom and pop tier is 82 cents a day. Even the $1,200 tier, that's your expensive Dr. Peppers over there, at $3.29 a day. This is an investment, just like you're investing in your vendors and your supplies and your food and your menu and your employees. Your membership is an investment as well. And we're going to show you how we can get a return on that will either exceed or at least meet the dues that you're spending. Guys, have any questions as we go, bombard Carol with the chat questions, because we did a role reversal today and she's going to monitor the chat while I conduct the webinar. So let's take a look. Let's jump into our savings. Our orders are up. We know what we've got to spend. We know what we're spending in our dues. How are we going to save some money with that? So let's talk a little bit about Tiger natural gas. So Tiger is the same natural gas that you receive now if you're utilizing New Mexico Gas Company. It's delivered through the existing pipelines at a reduced rate. So it's the same exact gas. Now, unfortunately not the whole state is eligible, but many of you are. And if you're not taking advantage of this, this is a no-brainer discount. The Tiger cities that are eligible for the member-only discount include all of Northwest New Mexico, Clovis and Portales in East Central New Mexico, and then some areas of Southeast New Mexico. So take a look for your city or your area here to see if you're eligible for Tiger Natural Gas. Now, restaurants in the US spend an average of $2.90 per square foot on electricity and about 85% per square foot on natural gas annually. So that breaks down about 3 to 5% of your operating costs. Let's be conservative. Now, Tiger, depending on your area and how far that gas has to travel through the pipeline, your gas savings will be up to 20%. So let's throw out, say, 17%. We're looking at a 6,000 square foot family restaurant. They're going to spend an average of $5,100 a year or $425 a month in natural gas. Your smaller bistro, 3,000 square foot, let's say, spending $2,550 a year or $212 per month on gas. And when we change over to Tiger Natural Gas, that's going to be a little bit better. Our savings pop in. Now, we're saving $72 a month for that 6,000 square foot family restaurant, or $36 a month for our smaller bistro. Those are fabulous savings. And already the bistro has paid for its membership at $300 annually. And this is just one of our benefits so far. Now let's take a look at our running total. Now we've come up with 3 different scenarios that we're going to follow throughout the webinar. We have a diner in Deming that unfortunately is not close to a Tiger Natural Gas pipeline, so they are not eligible. The Bosque Bistro, they're paying $600 in dues, but they saved $433 annually. And the 505 Grill is a larger chain, maybe not a chain. Let's say they've got 2 larger restaurants in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and they're, a big, pretty successful chain. So they're paying $1,200 annually. They're taking all of your locations and combining the entire food and beverage revenue and paying that together. Okay, nobody cringe. I know how we all feel about music licensing. And I know that sometimes it's one of those necessary evils, but we've got a great program with BMI. And we're currently working on plans with ASCAP. We also have negotiated discounts with CSAC as well. So it's kind of hard to provide you exact estimates because everybody is different. It's your music licensing is going to be based on what you're providing. It's going to be based on your number of seats, whether you've got live music or recorded music, all sorts of different things. Now, when I reached out to my reps over at BMI, they let me know that my members pay an average net fee of $1,000 a year. So I took that to kind of estimate for our smaller businesses and our larger businesses. Now, just by being a member, you get a $50 per year discount. I provide them a list of members and you don't have to do a single thing. But there were 85 NMRA members on BMI in 2021. But only a few of them only 10 were taking advantage of the other discounts that BMI have. So while this discount comes automatically, I'm going to tell you a way to increase that $50 a year to $200. So BMI offers that 5% off the top just by the information that I provide them. If you make the payment online as part of your contract, you're saving an additional 5%. So that's now up to 10%. If you do a timely pay discount, which is an auto pay, or you're paying right when you get your invoice, that's another 10%. So I want everybody to reach out to their BMI rep, make sure that you're making online payments, make sure that you get the timely pay discount because you've just increased that savings from $50 a year to $100. I want you to also reach out to CSAC and make sure that you're getting your member discount. If you guys have someone else that you're utilizing, Comcast or Xfinity, DirecTV, Pandora, somebody that you'd like us to reach out to, please let us know and we'll try to negotiate discounts for them as well. Again, if y'all have any questions as we go, please jump into the chat. Okay, let's take a look at our properties now and see how we're doing. So the Deming Diner is not providing any music. I'm sorry, the Deming Diner is. They have a fabulous little band that plays there. So they've got to pay their music licensing fee. They're a smaller venue, so we're going to give them, let's say, $50 savings annually. The Bosque Bistro has no music, so they don't get the discount here. Now the 505 Grill has 2 properties. They're both paying, so we're going to say that they save $100 per year annually, which is going to be our average. So the Deming Diner already, we still need to come up with a little bit more for them, a little bit more for the Bosque Bistro, and a little bit more for the 505 Grill. Now let's talk about ServSafe. And I know Tom is here and he's our Director of Education. Excuse me. He can jump in whenever he's ready, if he needs to. Our food safety certification and alcohol certification programs are amazing. We've got online classes for ServSafe Manager, Food Handler, and for Alcohol Server. We're currently wrapping up our in-person manager classes post-pandemic. So we're going to have more and more in the farther cities. More are on the way. Let's talk about those savings. So the food safety certification manager level class is about $40 off per employee. This is going to be the same discount whether you are online and you order through us or whether you are taking the class in person. Now the bistro is sending about 2 employees a year. These I pulled from our actual records and pulled attendance records for 3 different properties for the past 12 months. So the smaller one was sending 2 employees a year. The larger family restaurant with 2 locations was sending 21 employees a year. And we do have a quick service franchise with 19 locations that is sending 46 employees a year to ServSafe Manager classes. If they were non-members, this would be their cost. But because they're members, this is their savings. So the bistro saved $80 a year. The large restaurant saved $840 a year by using the member savings for the food safety. And the quick service franchise saved over $1,800. Right away, this is normally paid by the restaurant, the manager level, not by the employee. So it's something that you're saving with the dues that you're paying as the operator. I don't want to forget, though, that there are savings as well for food handler and alcohol server certification. Even though the employees pay this themselves, it's really a great perk for you to make sure that they have those employee discounts. We are doing 20% discount for alcohol server and about a 30% discount for food handler. Right now, these are only online classes, but our members are saving quite a bit. You want to make sure that your members have those codes. If you are a member and you don't know what the discount codes are, just call our office. We'll verify that your membership is in good standing, and we will go ahead and provide you with those discount codes that you can give out to your employees. Excuse me, there's no limit to what you can use as far as the discounts go. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Our Deming Diner saved $80 by sending their 2 employees to ServSafe. The Bosque Bistro also saved $160 by sending their 8 employees or their 4 employees to ServSafe. And the 505 Grill sent 12 employees. They saved $480. The 505 Grill has now paid for their dues and is actually making money off of their membership. Office Depot is really one of our newer benefits, and it's really one of the most underutilized benefits. So I really want to focus on this for a few minutes since you guys are more familiar with the other ones. There are a few different ways to save on the items you need for administration, for the back of the house. They have a few restaurant items, things like paper goods and garbage bags and those kinds of things that you might be using. So let's talk a little bit about how this discount works. Just by being a member, you can save up to 80% off some of your supplies at Office Depot. We put out a coupon every month that's going to provide you with some discounts. There's 3 ways to do this. You can do an online order on the fly through our website, which will automatically supply you with a discount. It's not going to be 80%, but it is going to be significant. You can also use your QR code, which you can get from your phone, or you can get a printout of one of your coupons from our website. This office discount, by the way, is also good for our vendor members. So you do not have to be a restaurant in order to utilize this discount. I've used the QR code just from my phone when I go in and pick up things for our office. If you happen to open an account with our Office Depot rep who is assigned to NMRA, you can pick the 75 most used items that you use, and you're going to get up to 80% off all of those commonly used in industry supplies. So what I had asked our rep to do was to go and do an apples to apples comparison of your office supplies. Some of the things that he looked back at some of our other orders and what restaurants might end up ordering so that we can have a good idea of that. Now, that didn't transfer as well as I'd like, but he did send me an order here. These are retail prices of items that the restaurants might need. Things like pens, break room supplies, bathroom supplies, things like ticket pads, sticky notes, anything that you guys might need just for the front of the house or just your kind of operations area. Even trash bags, like I said. So the quote, you can't really see it too well, but it comes out right here at the end, $464.60. This is from Office Depot's website. I had the link myself. It was live. This is exactly what it would have cost me if I would have just walked into Office Depot or ordered the information online as a non-member. So when I went through Seth, our rep, and asked him to provide me the same list, he came up with a new subtotal of $344.94, and with tax, it was $366.61. That's almost exactly $100 savings. This is per order. He didn't order excessive amounts of things. He ordered like a case of toilet paper, case of copy paper, those types of things. We saved $100 per order. So I definitely would recommend utilizing them. Even if you have to run and get things at the last minute, make sure you use the QR code. But ideally, have them look at all of your office supplies, anything that you're ordering that can be ordered from a place like this, and run it through them. So how are our restaurants doing? So our Deming Diner placed 2 office supply orders. So now they have made up their dues and they've net $30 extra. Our Bosque Bistro has made 3 Office Depot orders. They've made up their dues and they're now exceeding $293. Their 505 Grill has net $647 because they made 4 Office Depot orders. That's just a small $350 order 4 times a year. It's pretty reasonable. I feel like we've been pretty conservative in these estimates just because we're trying to not overstate the savings, but you can save even more. Okay, let's talk a little bit about FISIF now. So FISIF is the Food Industry Self-Insurance Fund. Much like Carol talked about the restaurateurs getting together to start an association, FISIF was started over 30 years ago, and it was combined with the Grocers Association. So because it's a group-owned plan, you're getting a group rate, and you're also getting dividends back. So it's these annual dividends that are going to represent your savings. The premiums are very competitive. Sometimes they're less, sometimes they're about the same as what you pay at any other provider. But because it's group owned, again, you're also getting those personal service and competitive rates. And it's food industry specific. So you're not sharing the pool with construction or other high-risk groups like those. It's just food industry. Businesses not utilizing FISIF, non-member businesses, don't receive any return dividend. Now, this one is complicated. So I reached out to our folks at FISIF, tried to ask for some average dividends to come back. And let me tell you, the math is way more complex than I will ever understand, but they were very gracious in providing me some information. So let's look at, say, restaurant A and restaurant B. While you all are taking notes and keeping track of your own math, think a little bit about your yearly premiums that you are paying, and that will give you a slight idea of what your dividends back are going to be. So Restaurant A pays about $6,900 in premiums, and they got $1,500 back. Now, these are adjusted amounts. What happens here, the check includes different amounts from every year being returned. So some of those years, you might not have earned anything back because you made so many losses that you were ineligible, but it's combining with all of the years as they're closing out. You might have injuries or claims from 2016 that are still being totaled out. They're going to take those every single year and work them into their formula to figure out your dividend savings. So this member's distribution had like $339 from 2013. Some other money that they had already received from 2013 was subtracted from that. They got a 2020 distribution, combined it all together, and they got that total of about 17% of their premiums. Now, Restaurant B got about 13% of their premiums back. They had $19,000 distributed back to them in 2021. And again, you can see the comparison of the premium prices that they're paying. But this is my caveat here and my disclaimer: the dividend calculations are very complex. The eligibility has a lot of considerations. The dividends are not guaranteed. But if you're not utilizing FSIF now, I urge you to at least reach out to them and get a quote. I see a question, and Carol told me she'd handle it, but it's distracted me, so I'm going to answer Jack there. No, the discount applies to all Office Depots. You should be able to use that QR code anywhere you go. And if you're ordering online to have it delivered to you, it does not need to be in a New Mexico location. Hope that answers Jack's question about Office Depot. So again, if you're not utilizing FSIF, reach out to them to get a premium quote, compare it to your current quote, and then take 10 to 17% of your annual premium quote and think about whether you can get a dividend. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. So again, I was very conservative with these dividend returns. You saw that one restaurant got $19,000 back. We wanted to scale that down a bit. So for our Deming Diner, they participate in FSIF, they received a $700 dividend. The Bosque Bistro, $1,200. And the 505 Grill got $4,000 back. So if we take a look at our information on the bottom here, that's $730 that the Deming Diner has netted just by being a member, $1,400 plus for the Bosque Bistro, and $4,600 plus for the 505 Grill. I see our message about FSIF, and we're going to go over how to reach out to these saving providers in just a second. There's a lot of savings that's really hard to quantify. So I want to make sure that we go over all of those as well to make sure that you're utilizing all of your discounts. Now, while FSIF is particular to restaurants, some vendors may be eligible if they are handling food. That's something that I can't speak to because I'm not a broker, but you could reach out to them as well. But these other discounts are eligible for many of our associates too. And again, it's really hard to put a number on them, but we're going to try to take a look. Right now, we're partnering with ADESO, which is an employee retention tax credit company that will help you get money from that. So they're giving back about $26,000 per employee. They're going to take their fees out of what they do to get your ERTC. Again, this is a no-brainer. We just want to make sure that you're utilizing everything you can. Yeah, Carol's right. Many of our associates will qualify for FSIF too. We've talked a little bit about Teledoc and Healthiest You. This is a program that's offered to the hospitality industry, so our members are eligible. They are getting teleservices for $9 per month. This doesn't include office, not really office visits, but you can meet with a physician to get a prescription refill, for example. Anything that doesn't require any lab work, you can have a Healthiest You visit for. This is also great for mental health visits. Normally, this runs about $25 per month. And for our program, it's $9 per employee per month. So that saves $16 per employee if you're participating in Healthiest You through us versus trying to offer telemedicine on your own. I don't want to underestimate the savings you can get from our vendor members. Many of them do member-to-member coupons. We're expanding on that. So if you're our vendor that's attending the webinar, please reach out to me. Make sure that we have a coupon on file for you. It's a free service to have your coupon listed on our online directory. We have things about fire safety, advertising, ice machine repair, point of service. You can even work with some of our utility providers. And if you exchange your appliances for energy efficient appliances, they'll show you how to get a rebate. Those are all really, really helpful things that can offer a great, great discount for you. I also want to talk about the free consults from our experienced staff. We've got a staff of experts who has probably over 80 years at least combined restaurant experience. Cindy in our finance department is our resident expert on things like wage and hour laws. She can help you with payroll. She can help you with tipped pooling and any types of those questions. Lawrence is our communications director. He can help you with social media and marketing questions. Excuse me, Tom, fabulous Tom, our education director, is your go-to for any of your food safety questions. If you've got an inspector there that is answering you in a way that you think is inappropriate, or you think he's telling you something that just doesn't seem quite right, call Tom and make sure. We can also provide you with all sorts of things like sample inspection forms. We can connect you with vendors that can be helpful to you. This is really the best way to utilize us. I want you to think of us as your personal assistant. It's hard to put a dollar amount on that, but we're not going to charge you hourly every time you call me. You can always call me first, and I can direct you to another member of our staff if I can't help. But most of the time, I'm going to be able to direct you to another member that can help you. That's part of this experience and part of being a part of something bigger than just you. For example, I got a call one time from a smaller drive-in, and their speakers were down, and they were in a rural area, and they had this sonic type of setup, and they couldn't do anything because their speakers were down. They called me and said, do you have an electrician or somebody that is a vendor in your area? And I didn't, but immediately I was able to get on the phone with some of our contacts and was able to reach out to Blake's, who was able to tell me who they use in that area, and we could make that connection for them. That saved them tons of time on the phone and on Google trying to reach out to do the right thing. We've got new members every day that can clean for you, that can recycle your oil, that can provide you a safe, germ-free environment. There's just so many things that we can do that we want to make sure that you're networking to those folks. And we are always working on new discounts as the opportunities arise. Right now, we're in negotiation phase again with ASCAP. We're working with DirecTV to provide you guys some discounts for those of you who might show a lot of sports, for example, in your bar or restaurant. And we want you to tell us who your favorite vendors are. Let us know. I want to be able to reach out to those members in Las Cruces and Deming and Silver and Las Vegas. Who are you using to service your restaurant? Let us reach out to them. Let us tell them how much they can work with you and maybe get you an even better discount. And I know that was a ton of information at once, but I'm going to go ahead and open us up for questions. And then we're going to also open up our website so I can tell you how to access a lot of this information. So Carol, do we have any questions?
Dion, we only really had one that you didn't, and it was more of a suggestion. It was to reach out to Pandora for a discount premium. So fabulous. We will do that.
Wonderful. So I've stopped sharing for just a moment because I would like to show you guys our website. and how we can best serve you in that way. Okay, let's take a look here. All right. So you guys are wanting some information on how to access all of these different benefits. Let's take a look here at our online directory. Now this is going to show you all of our great vendor members. You also can look at coupons and discounts. There's no coupons to display. That's interesting. We'll go ahead and double check the dates on those and make sure that those are good. But I do know we have quite a few out there right now that you can take advantage of. You also can reach out to any of our vendors as well directly and email them from the online directory. You also want to take a look at your discounts page, which is under your member benefits. This will give you information about FISIF, and just to answer your question there, you can reach out to FISIF at 505-298-9095.
And I just want to remind everybody that, as you can see on this, you can chat with us anytime during office hours. We're on this chat. And if you just have a quick question, we can, you can type it in here. If we're not there for by some chance, it goes directly to one of our emails, and we're there to help you. And you can always call our office. We even have an 800 number. I don't know if anybody uses the 800 number anymore, but go ahead, Dion.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just going to add that we do have members that this is their chosen way to communicate with us. So we do get questions from the general public sometimes, but more often than not, it's going to be our members asking us questions. We just wanted to provide you with as many ways as possible to reach out to us. You can go ahead and check out all of the different discounts that we've gone over. They each have their own page on our site, including our ServSafe discounts, Adesso for our employee retention tax credit, Teladoc for our benefits. One thing we didn't cover that's a benefit for employees, that's not in particular exactly for savings for you, but we think it's a really good savings for the employees. It's called Life Balance, and it's a website where they can get all sorts of different online discounts. There's no cost for you to participate. You just have to be a member. I'll give you the link to the landing page there, and they can have travel discounts, movie discounts, things like Chewy, where we're ordering our dog food from, computers, tennis shoes, all of that types of stuff. And you can also apply to add your own restaurant to those member discounts. Oh, there we see. We'll make sure that that link goes up and working. Again, we just want to make sure that you know that you can get your dues to pay for themselves. I'm going to end over with our final tally that we went over. That just by utilizing a few benefits, and again, this is just 5 of them. This doesn't even count the member-to-member discounts and the utilization of our staff and what you're saving in time and money. Just make sure that you're utilizing all of the expertise you can, because your time is very valuable. We want to save money, help you save money with your time as well. So I'm going to open up once again for questions. If anybody wants to unmute themselves and jump in, feel free.
Any questions? I don't see anything, Dion.
Okay, super. Well, we are here for you. Reach out if there's anything at all that you need from us. We're here to serve you. And if you have any questions about customizing your quote of your return on investment, just reach out and we'd be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to talking to you at our next webinar.
I appreciate you all being here. Thanks so much, Dion. Great job.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.